Whenever you Google mountain biking, you see a whole bunch of pictures of people throwing themselves down hills at top speed. But most of the time, you don't get a free ride on a chairlift. Most of the time, you have to climb to go down. So that's why in this video I'll be talking to you all about the techniques and a bit of the physics behind going up hills. In order to make your bike go, you need torque. Torque is applied in the cranks which transmit that torque into the wheels. But there's also a time where it turns against you. Say you have a big powerful tractor and you jam the back wheels somehow. Think about it. The tractor generates so much torque that it will lift the front of the tractor way up because the motor wants to turn something around the axle, but it can't turn the wheels, so it turns the tractor. But the same thing happens for bikes. This can happen either when you jam your foot super hard on the pedals and you suddenly pop a wheelie out of nowhere, and also you could jam your back wheel while pedaling and flip over just like a tractor. Anyhow, think of torque like fire and watch out for applying it too hard. Momentum is your best friend. I almost don't know what to say. If you come into a steep climb at 1 kilometer per hour, it'll be practically impossible. But if you come into that same climb at 100 kilometers an hour, given that you won't crash, it'll be easy. The reason is because of momentum. See, momentum is that thing that keeps you going even when you stop pedaling. It wants to keep you going at your current speed as long as possible. So if you want to climb something, I suggest getting some speed so that you have momentum to carry you up the hill. While we're on the topic of torque and momentum, we also need to talk about friction. Friction is what keeps your tire from slipping. The knobbier your tires are, the more friction you get because the knobs dig into the riding surface to get more grip. The type of rubber that your tires are made of also makes a difference in how much friction is created. Wider tires can also create more friction by having more tire touching the ground. We'll talk more about tires later. If you want to go up any climb, you have to be in the right gear. In other words, gearing is key. In a high gear, you can easily get lots of speed and momentum to prepare for a big climb. But the only problem with that is if you end up losing a lot of your speed partway up the climb, you won't be able to pedal, so you'll stall out. So to fix that problem, it's a good idea to have a lower gear because it'll be easier to pedal. But the thing is, if you have a lower gear, you miss out on that good run up that I told you about before. But that's just the way the world works. In my experience, it will be in a gear that is just in the right place so you can keep accelerating on the run up. But you can also climb the steepest spots of the climb you're trying to do in order to balance the benefits of both high gears and low gears. Line choice is key. Whatever you do, if you don't pick the right line, you're hosed. Picture this. You have a giant rock roll, and there's one big rock on one side and nothing on the other side. You go down and pick the side that won't slam you into a rock. The same thing with climbing. Pick the path of least resistance and you will succeed. Because sometimes the obvious is not the best, so try something different. Bike setup is a must. So is technique. If you use these things together properly, you're going to be an unstoppable climber. First of all, let's talk about bike setup, specifically tire pressure. I suggest running low tire pressure on both tires for optimal grip, but not too low in order to make sure you don't get a flat tire. Now, to talk about the technique part of things. So you need power, but that isn't the main part. The main part is how you handle your bike. The reason people can get up stuff that look impossible is by lifting their wheel. If you lift your wheel hard and at the right time, it should be pretty easy to get up an abrupt rise. The only problem with lifting your wheel is that on longer climbs, you can't lift your wheel or else you'll flip over. At the beginning of this project, I'd set a goal to make it up one climb in particular, the Hard Rock Cafe. A very, very steep climb that didn't look like much, but it was really, really hard. Nah, I don't think I'm ready for that. Let's try some easier ones to warm up with. What you're about to see is called steps. It's a very hard clump of rocks that are really hard to navigate through, and there are a few lines through here, but the one I'm going to take through is probably the smoothest line if you can nail it, but not the easiest line in general. The next place I'm going to show you is called Slim Pickens because the line choice is really hairy. Another characteristic of this place is that the rocks catch your pedals on the sides, and also in the middle there are these giant rocks that take away all your momentum. So going back to the line choice thing, in this video you'll see me take a line that goes way off to the side, cuts across and goes way off to the other side to avoid those rocks. Okay, that was fun, but that wasn't the Hard Rock Cafe. But I think with what I've learned from those, I can make it up. Maybe I really can't do it, but what if I can?